Thank you, Glenn. Michael,
Good morning.
good morning.
Good
I see
morning.
a couple more people waiting to connect here. Where are you from, Glenn?
North Carolina.
Oh, very nice. Is it a nice day there today?
You probably don't want to know the real answer to that question.
Oh, is it that good?
It's probably 73, 74, zero humidity, sunny.
That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, it's real nice. It's a nice change from last week's frigid temperatures. And it's only going to get nicer as the week progresses.
Right on. Bring on spring. Where are you located, Michael?
I'm in Minneapolis, Kate.
Oh, okay. Excellent. What's it like there today?
Well, today's going to be quite nice. We're going to have temperatures in the high 60s and with a very light overcast sky. So most of our snow, if it's still on the ground, will be melted by the end of today.
Wow, that sounds so good. I'm actually in Alberta, Canada for 3 weeks, visiting my mom, who's been very isolated during this, and we've been having a great time here. But we got quite a bit of snow yesterday, so that was very pretty. It's all melting now, thank goodness.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was nice. Well, thank you. I think we can get started now. I see Aaron is still trying to connect, but we'll get started. So welcome to Work Canada. My name is Kate Wolf, and I've had the pleasure of serving you as Work Canada's chair for the last 2 years. Our workshop today is interactive. That's why I'd like your camera on and your mic. So you can keep your mic muted if you like until you're ready to speak, or keep it on if you're not being noisy. It's up to you. And there are a couple of features on Zoom, if you're not aware, that I'd like to bring your attention to. Down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see there's icons starting with mute all the way over to participants and reactions. If you click on the reactions icon once, you'll see a drop down, or a drop up in this case, that says raise hand. If you ever want our attention without interrupting us, that's the way to do it. Just raise your hand, or use the chat function, which is also down at the bottom in the middle of your icons at the bottom. So either of those will work, or do a dance. You can dance for us. What the heck, it's Tuesday. I wouldn't mind seeing you dance. So we'll be interactive, and we'll do our best to answer all of the questions. It's a small group today, so Zachariah should be able to give you some really good one-on-one attention for your LinkedIn profile. So by the end of the hour, you will have a professional and functional LinkedIn profile. So congratulations to you for being present today and choosing to develop your professional brand. It's a good choice. Our chapter won Work Circle of Acclaim Award this year, taking home the Chapter of Excellence 2020-2021 award for being the most active and engaged chapter in North America. Thank you for joining today's workshop and making us #1. WORK, which is Warehousing Education Research Council, was incorporated in 1977. I don't know how many of you knew that, but that's quite a while ago. It's almost as old as I am, and operates as a division of MHI, Material Handling Industry. So WORK works diligently to bring you, our community, our members, the best and most relevant supply chain information, discussions, connections, and certifications. Our next event will be Tuesday, April the 6th at noon Eastern Time. Our events are usually on a Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. And on April 6th, we will have health, safety, and wellness experts answering questions around health and safety in the workplace, as well as at home, as we've pivoted to a more virtual environment where possible. So our speakers for that April 6th event will be Canada Post. We've got Chris Roach, the VP of Health and Safety. We have Concourse Technology, the Chief HR Officer, Tony Skida. And we have a professional speaker, Dean Rawson, who speaks on health and wellness. So that'll be a good one to catch as well. Work Canada has monthly events right through to the end of 2021, including a site or virtual tour of BCLDB, that's the British Columbia Liquor Distribution Board, and Gordon Food Services. We have planned discussions around supply chain East versus West and Canada versus US. So that'll be an interesting topic. And another discussion around commodities. So lots of things coming up. That's just a few. On Thursday, May 27th at 4 p.m., so near the end of the day, and I'll tell you why, Six River Systems will be showcasing one of their clients with a virtual tour and business case presentation, followed by cocktails for everyone. Yes, when you register for this event, you will be shipped the ingredients for a cocktail that a professional mixologist will guide us to make near the end of the session to enjoy. Two other fun activities we hope to plan this year are a golf tournament in BC and our annual Christmas party with networking. Work Canada offers 10 events every year, plus the conference and many other events and perks your work membership qualifies you for. If you are attending today's webinar as a non-member, is there anyone here that is a non-member? Glenn, are you a member? You are, okay.
I am.
Ken, Matt?
Yes, I am a member.
Okay. Okay, so if anyone is not a member, feel free to reach out to me on, guess where, LinkedIn, or you can find me on the work.org website under chapters, and just reach out to me and I'll give you a $25 discount towards your next membership. All right, so we have an amazing hour planned for you today to get something off that back burner of yours. We all have that, but we never get around to it. We all have those tasks or activities, and I've noticed in supply chain, LinkedIn profiles are often lacking and do not demonstrate your expertise and personal brand. So Zachariah James is here with me today to remedy that with you. We will be having open conversation, like I said, so feel free to speak up, raise the hands, chat, dance, whatever you like. A bit about Zachariah. He is the founder of CIBN Connect, a business professional networking and training organization that has been hosting 365 events a year since 2013. So that's 3,000 events so far. That's pretty good. Zachariah has been featured as the keynote speaker at over 300 professional training events, covering topics such as B2B networking, entrepreneurship, business management, leadership, and advanced social media marketing via LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, and Twitter. In addition to being an accomplished business professional and instructor, Zachariah also happens to be my wonderful husband, who I love so much. Everyone, please welcome Zachariah James.
Awesome. Thank you so much to my lovely wife, Kate, for that fantastic introduction. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to do something special for each and every one of your LinkedIn profiles and step them up just a little bit from where they're at. I want everybody to know that as a facilitator and trainer, I've been doing LinkedIn trainings now, among other trainings, for just over 8 years. And unlike many trainings you may have attended in the past, this is not the type of training where you're going to take some wonderful notes and then you're going to close up the Zoom meeting, go get a coffee, make a sandwich or something like that and go, oh, that was an awesome training. I'll do all that stuff later. And then you're going to forget about it and never do it. That's not how we do trainings. Everything that I'm going to show you how to do, I want you to actually take action on it and accomplish it right now in today's meeting. So that's why Kate said this is going to be a very interactive training session. So if everyone can join us on video, I'd greatly appreciate that. That'd be awesome. And if you have any questions as we go along today, don't worry about raising your hand. Just feel free to unmute yourself and interject. Of course, I will take questions after the session, but if you ask something that's particular to what we're going through at the time, chances are I'll be able to help you address it, and chances are that other people will be wondering the same thing at that time. So I encourage you to ask questions as we go along. And if it is something that I'm going to cover later, I'll just quickly say, don't worry about it. We're going to get right to that in a few minutes. All right. The first thing that I'm going to do is in the Zoom chat here, I'm going to drop a link to my LinkedIn profile. I did send each of you a connection request yesterday. However, some of you may have duplicate profiles or something along those lines. I know I haven't had that connection request accepted just yet. And in order for me to properly see your full profile and help you make any necessary changes, I need you to connect with me on LinkedIn. So that's step one, everybody. Just go ahead, click that link, and it should say accept request.
Is everybody able to log into their LinkedIn? You remember your password and everything? Okay. Great.
So Zachariah, was the link sent through LinkedIn?
No, so the link is in the Zoom chat. However, I can easily send it to you in your LinkedIn messages as well, if you like. No, you have to accept my connection request first. But if you want to see my connection request, it'll be under the My Network button, top center. And it should be right at the top there because I did send it just yesterday. And while you guys are working on that, I just want to give a little bit of an overview about why I like LinkedIn so much and what the main value is for people out of LinkedIn. A lot of people don't realize the full opportunity that there is on LinkedIn, and they're not sure, what they're really going to get out of it, and that's why they don't use it. But the main reason I really prefer to do LinkedIn trainings over any other social media trainings is because it's a tool that can be used by the very large majority of individuals, whether they're small business owners or any type of professionals or people looking to develop a professional career for themselves. It's an excellent tool. It's a fantastic tool for job searching, supplier sourcing, finding business partners, finding event partners, finding marketing partners, referral partners, and for finding clients. And one thing that I really, really like about LinkedIn, and this is how I know I'm going to be able to help each one of you with a little something on your profile here today, is because LinkedIn is a really, really awesome cyber stalking tool. It's my absolute favorite part about LinkedIn. Whenever I'm going to have a meeting with anyone, I can check them out on LinkedIn, find out what company they're with, find out what their accomplishments are, and even get an idea of what their general interests are so that I can see, one, where might I be able to bring value to our relationship in any initial conversation, but two, how I can develop common ground with that individual. So fair warning to everyone, I've cyber stalked each of you, mainly looking for any potential areas of improvement on your LinkedIn profiles. And I've spreadsheeted it all so that I know exactly what areas of improvement are going to be important to your profiles so that I make sure we accomplish that in today's session. Has everybody managed to find my profile and connect with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, and Aaron and Matt, you guys are still on mute. Just want to make sure you know that. Not 100% sure.
I found it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm here as well. Couldn't find the unmute button.
Yeah,
There
thanks,
you go.
Eric.
So the mute button and the start video button are in the bottom left-hand corner there, so you guys know. All right, I'm going to share my screen with everyone. Perfect. And the reason I'm going to walk you through these changes from my profile is because in order for me to see where all the edit buttons are, I need to look at my profile. So I want you guys to go to your profiles, and I have all of your profiles open here as well. So I've got, let's see here. Michael's over here. Oh, Glenn's over here. Michael's over here. Matt's over here. So I'll be able to look at your guys' profiles as you're making changes as well. I want you guys to look at your profiles, and I'm going to look at my profile, and I'm going to walk you through which buttons to click step by step. So the first one, and I noticed that everybody who's registered for today's session can benefit from this one. Top right-hand corner, you should see a button that says Edit Public Profile and URL. Sorry, did my screen stop sharing?
No, you're sharing.
We're sharing? Okay, we're good. All right. The green highlight thing that's usually around the screen didn't show up, so I was a little confused. But all right, so everybody see that button? Let me know if you don't see that button. You want to click that button that says Edit Public Profile and URL.
I don't see that on mine. I might be looking at the wrong screen or something.
Okay, so you should be looking at your profile,
Yep.
which you get to by clicking the Me button at the top right-hand corner and then clicking View Profile. And then you should see this button that says Edit Public Profile.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. So you click on that, and it's going to take you to this page right here.
Zachariah, where do you have our profiles set up? Because I don't see that on my screen.
Where do I have your profile set up?
Yeah, you said you clicked 4 of us and I don't see that anywhere.
Well, I have your profile here, Matt. You may,
Okay, I
saw
got
that your
it. I see
profile
it
was a bit
now.
undeveloped, so yeah, you should be able to log into that profile if you're not already.
Okay.
Okay, so the first button you guys are going to want to click is this Edit Your Custom URL. Once again, it's in the top right-hand corner, and there's a little blue pen button right there. You want to click that little blue pen. And what you're going to want to do is change that URL. For those of you who haven't changed it before, it's going to have some random numbers on the end. You'll want to delete those random numbers. What should be there is your first name, followed by a dash, followed by your last name, followed by another dash, and then your company name, with a dash in between each word. The reason you want to do this is, well, one, it makes your profile URL a little bit shorter and better for sharing with people, but the main reason is actually for search engine optimization. So your profile's custom URL is Google's first point of interaction with your profile. It's what it's going to use as the first point to determine what it should connect your profile to. So if people Google search your name or Google search your company name, having your URL set up this way will make it a lot more likely that your profile will come up on Google first. And then once you've adjusted that, you'll want to go ahead and click that blue Save button that's just below it. Let me know if anybody's having any trouble with that or if you got it done.
Done.
I'm having trouble, Zachariah, getting to my profile. I'm stuck on yours.
Okay, so your profile, you click the button at the top right-hand corner that says Me. It's got a little should have your picture of your head there, and then you click the View Profile button.
Actually, it's yours.
You're logged into my account. That seems strange. So top right-hand corner, where it says Me, there should be a little picture of your
This
head, and then
Picture of you.
You're probably on the Zoom screen.
Yeah,
yes. Okay, so you need
Okay.
to go back to your browser.
if you can, make this window just smaller and then open your browser and make it half the screen size as well, so you can see both your browser and our discussion. on your
Okay.
screen.
Okay. So I just want to give it a second here so that everybody can get that done. For the next step, what you're going to want to do here is click the button that says Edit Contents, if you're still on that screen where you changed your URL, and that's going to take you back to viewing your profile. Now, this next step, I can't say for sure that all of you are going to benefit from this, but chances are most of you will, because this is a very common mistake with LinkedIn.
Zach, sorry if I can interrupt. Michael, are you on your LinkedIn? Did you manage to get in?
Yeah, I got on my, I managed to get in. And then again, what do I need to do to edit my custom URL?
No worries. So just viewing your profile, you click the button at the top right-hand corner that says Edit Public Profile and URL.
Okay,
And then it'll just be your first name hyphen, delete the numbers. And then
okay,
it'll be your first name hyphen, last name hyphen, company name.
Okay, and no worries, if anybody doesn't manage to get that done, we will very likely be done by 12:45 or 12:50. So we'll have time for question and answers and helping anybody at the end of the session as well. But as you're adjusting your URLs, just make sure you hit that blue save button that's there. Okay, then once you go back to your profile, I want you to click the contact info button. That's right next to where it says 500 plus connections or however many connections you have. Click the contact info button that's in blue. Then it's going to open a little pop-up window that looks something like this. And you want to click the gray pen button for editing it. Now here's where most people make the mistake. They don't have their appropriate contact info in this section. If you want to actually use LinkedIn as a business development tool of any kind or marketing tool, it's going to come down to interacting with people on LinkedIn.
Or
And if
career
LinkedIn,
search.
sorry, what's that, Kate?
Also career search.
Or for career search, same thing. Personal development, career development, business development. It comes down to interacting with people on LinkedIn. Bottom line is, when you interact with people through LinkedIn as your first point of contact, it's very likely that they will, if they need your contact information, use LinkedIn as the first point they go to find your contact information. So you want to make sure you actually have the right contact information in there, not your old Yahoo email address that you created 10 years ago and never checked. Make sure you have your current up-to-date email address in this section, as well as your current business phone number. As well as there is space to add websites as well, other social media links if you like. And then once again, just make sure you hit the blue save button at the bottom of that window. And just let me know when you're finished that step as we go along.
Good to go.
Excellent. Okay. So the next step is also contact information focused. Once you've hit save on that, go to your About section, which should be at the top of your profile. If your profile is fairly undeveloped, you may not have an About section, in which case you need to click the Add About section button.
And Zach, where's the add about section button? Would it be where
Good
the
question.
about is?
It should be right where the About is. It may say your profile is this much completed, to completed, click the next button. Go ahead and click that next button, and then it should say add an About section. But the About section is your opportunity to share a little bit about yourself and your experience in whatever business or industry position, and draw people into your profile to tell them a little bit more about yourself. But what's very important here is that you once again include your contact information at the top of your About section. The reason you want to do this is because the contact info button that I've just walked you all through hasn't always been there. And many people who use LinkedIn may not necessarily know that that's there. So you want to make it very easy for them to find your contact information. You can choose whether or not to include your phone number and email in that section. Many people do worry about spam if they put their email there. I can tell you from experience, you really won't get that much spam by doing it at all. However, if you're really concerned about that, just go ahead and make sure, once again, you put your name, your company name, and your website address. And once again, that's also for search engine optimization purposes, making sure that Google knows to connect the information on your page with people who may be searching for your name or your company's name on Google. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay. Moving on. So the next step. This one, I noticed a few of you may be missing. So I want you to scroll down on your profile to your experience section. And go to your first listed experience, which should be for your current company. Hover your cursor to the right-hand side, you'll see a little gray pen button to edit. Click on that. And the first thing you want to do, if you notice that where it says company, the logo is not there. That means that your experience section isn't properly connected to your company's page. So what you want to do, assuming there is a company page set up for your company, just click on where it says company, and then there should be an option that comes up. It says, you know, for example, myself says CIBN Connect, is this one yours? So you make sure you click on that so that it properly connects the experience section to your company's page. That way, if somebody's looking at your profile and they see that you're with this company, they want to look at that company's profile, they're able to click to it and it'll automatically take them to that company's page. Now you scroll down a little bit, you'll also see that there's a link button here. You can upload pictures or links to connect pages or pictures to that experience. At the very least, I recommend at least adding the link to the company's actual website. So you click on link and then you just type in the website address, www, whatever your primary website is. And then you make sure to click the gray add button that's at the very end of the bar here. Now, when you do that and you click add, it's going to say, oh, do you want to add a description? Do you want to add a title? You can if you wish, or if you're unhappy with the description that comes up, but the main thing is just to make sure that you hit apply. Now there's also a little tab at the bottom of that window after you've hit apply that says, do you want to share this change with your network? Generally, I recommend turning that off so that you're not pushing notifications to everyone about every little change that you make. And then you click save. Okay. Now, let's talk about profile pictures. Profile pictures and background photos. I did notice that most of you have excellent profile pictures and background photos. Most important thing is that you have a profile picture and you have a background photo. The reason that you absolutely want to have these two things is because if you're going to be actively using LinkedIn for any purpose, not having a profile picture, not having a background picture is a red flag to anybody who views your profile and does actively use LinkedIn, as this person obviously does not use LinkedIn very much at all, and there's not much point in connecting with them. When it comes to profile pictures, I think everybody here, I can't see some of our participants in the room, Aaron, Matt, Patrick, Dave, but you want to keep your profile picture up to date. Just make sure it doesn't look like you 10 years ago, so that people aren't like, if they are actually going to have a meeting with you in person or in a Zoom meeting, they're scratching their head going, is this actually who I'm supposed to be meeting with right now? Because, you know, have some within reason timing to when you put your profile or how old your profile picture is. Kind of like a maximum is around 5 years.
Yes, unlike the realty profession. The real estate agents have their photo for about 25 years, I think.
Yes, yes. And there is many people who have very out-of-date profile pictures. If you're going to use LinkedIn effectively, it always comes to interacting with people and meeting with people, whether it's virtually, over the phone, in Zoom meetings, or in person. But at some point, there's usually some kind of face-to-face interaction if you're looking to get value out of LinkedIn and your network. So you want to make sure you actually look like what you look like on your profile. And also, just as a general recommendation, I think everybody here was pretty good, but you want to make sure it's a clear photo of your face that accurately represents yourself. So, you know, avoid the sunglasses or dark room pictures or, you know, full fishing gear with fishing hat out in the lake type of thing. I've seen that quite a few times as well. And for background photo,
always bothered me. I think that's like, people take pictures and use them as a profile with their children, and is like not a LinkedIn play.
you're absolutely right. So it should be a picture of just you. Children, at least people will generally know that obviously that's not the child that they're interacting with, but I have seen a lot of pictures of, you know, group photos, pictures of people with their brother, with their spouse, and it's like, I don't know which one of these people I'm actually connecting with.
And for perspective as well, like for those in the employment hunt, having pictures of you and a spouse, you and a child, that can lead to people discriminating, even if they don't think about it like handily.
It's true. It's true. Much like in a face-to-face interaction, studies have shown that people make their mind up about you within the first 10 seconds of meeting you, which generally comes down to, even on social media, what you look like. So good to have a clear photo, and it's not so much about being the best looking person in the world. It's just about, you know, looking like a clean and decently postured individual that you wouldn't mind having a conversation with. Okay, next step. Now, this is kind of just a pro tip for everyone. If you're going to really actively use LinkedIn, whether it's for business development or for, you know, business purposes as a business owner, the recommendations section is really important. Now, obviously, I can't just help you immediately get recommendations, but if you don't have any recommendations or you don't have any recent recommendations, this also applies for if you're using LinkedIn for career searching as well. You'll want to get some up-to-date recommendations. So reach out to a client or two that you know has been, or client or employer, or you know, even a coworker that you've worked with recently who really appreciated working with you, and get them to give you a recommendation on LinkedIn. It's important to have at least something within the last 2 years there as a recommendation. And the reason that this section is really important is because if you're going to use LinkedIn very actively yourself, you'll learn this in your experience as well, especially if you're looking to source out suppliers or speakers or event managers, marketing professionals, anything like that. The recommendation section is a very powerful tool for getting to know somebody. So let's be honest, we can rate whatever the hell we want about ourselves on LinkedIn, right? It's our profile. We can put whatever we want there. But it's much harder to fake what other people are saying about you. So if you're using LinkedIn as a service provider finding tool, you'll often find yourself going to the recommendation section, or at least I would recommend going to the recommendation section very quickly on somebody's profile to try to determine whether or not that's the type of person that you would want to use as a service provider.
Zach, do you want to just show them how easy it is to ask for a recommendation?
Yep. So you just scroll down to your recommendation section here and you click the Ask for Recommendation button. And then who do you want to ask? So let's say I want to ask Kate Wolf for a recommendation. There we go. Select position at the time. So this is selecting your position at the time. Click that. Let's see here. Kate was a client of mine. That was a relationship at the time. Click next. Hi, Kate, would you rate me a recommendation? It all automatically puts that in there, and then you click the send button. Now, if you want, you can edit that little message and, expand on particularly what you'd like them to rate you a recommendation for. But generally, I find if you want to get a recommendation that's new and up on your profile very quickly, the best way to do that is to reach out to somebody by phone. Just tell them that you started using LinkedIn for whatever purposes and you're looking to get a recommendation on there from somebody you recently worked with. Ask them if they wouldn't mind doing it. And if they say yes, then you say, great, I'm going to send you a little request for recommendation message on LinkedIn right now. Okay, next step. For those of you who need more connections on LinkedIn, I highly recommend logging in on your phone. If you keep your contacts on your phone, when you log in via the LinkedIn app, it'll automatically ask you, do you want to connect with your contact list, essentially? And then it allows you to just simply select yes, and then it sends a connection request to everybody that's in your contact list on your phone. Can be a really fast way to develop some connections on LinkedIn. Otherwise, it can be kind of a slow process. Alternatively, you can go to the My Network section and then click on Connections. No, Contacts. You click on Contacts and then click on the Add More Contacts button, which is at the top right-hand corner. And it will ask you if you want to connect your LinkedIn account to one of your email providers. So you just choose the one where you store all of your contacts and it works with all of them, whether you have an Outlook account, Gmail account, Yahoo, whatever be the case. And you can just automatically import your contacts from that list. And then you will unfortunately have to click the checkbox to select which ones you want to connect with, which can be kind of a long drawn out process, but it's much faster than searching people up and connecting with them individually through the search function. Okay, so there's a couple more quick tips that I want to share with everyone. The first one being two-factor authentication. Show of hands, who has two-factor authentication turned on? Glenn, Kenneth, Kate, okay, good. Just want to make sure everybody knows about this because honestly, if you don't have two-step verification or two-factor authentication turned on, you're pretty much guaranteed to get your LinkedIn account hacked. So you don't want that. It's very simple to turn on. All you got to do is you go up to the top right-hand corner, click on the little Me drop-down menu button there, and then you go to Settings. On the left-hand side, you select Sign In and Security. And then it's the bottom option right here, two-step verification. For those of you who already have it turned on, also make sure any of your good personal friends or clients or family members who also actively use LinkedIn also have this step turned on, because you'd be absolutely amazed how many people do not have it turned on and their accounts are at major risk of being hacked. Friends don't let friends have no two-step verification on their LinkedIn account. Let's put it that way.
So what verification method do you want to choose?
Good question, Michael. I generally recommend the text message via phone number SMS option.
Okay.
It's the most secure option. And LinkedIn's pretty good. Luckily, it won't make you do that two-step verification every single time you log on. It does keep track of, if you've come to it from your normal computer. But basically, if you log on from any computer that isn't your normal computer, it will say, okay, I'm going to send you a text message to give you a code and verify this is you. Okay, next step. This one is really, really important for anybody who's looking to regularly engage with clients or prospective clients through LinkedIn that isn't actually, direct messaging them. So if you're not looking to set up meetings with somebody, but if you want to follow someone, say for example, I'm at my news feed here, which is the home button. I can see there's a post from Elliot Sabah. He's a new client of mine. So new clients, any clients, they love it when you actually interact with them on social media and comment on their stuff, share their posts, like their posts, that type of thing. If you want to get value out of the news feed section of this social media platform, I highly recommend, cleaning it up so that you're not seeing posts from everybody you're connected with on LinkedIn. This is fairly simple to do. So what you need to do is go to the Manage Newsfeed section. What you do is you click on the My Network button at the top center. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see People I Follow. Click on that. And then it says Filter by Out of Network. So you want to go over to the right of where it says Filter by Out of Network, and you click this button here. And then you sort by connections, so connections you are following. I keep this exclusive to basically paying clients for myself and people that I want to be paying clients more than anything. This means when I go to my news feed, I only see posts from people I really want to be interacting with. So it's people that they are paying clients, I've identified them as really good potential clients, or they've recently expressed some interest in my services. Now, if you already have a lot of connections developed, this can be quite tedious to go through here and unfollow all the ones you don't want to be following. However, it's totally, totally worth doing if you're going to use the newsfeed section at all. Otherwise, if you don't do this, don't even bother with the newsfeed section. If you don't do this step, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't discover this step until I already had 5,000 connections. So it took me I think about 3-4 hours to go through and unfollow everyone I didn't want to be following. But that 3-4 hours means that my newsfeed is always people that I actually want to be interacting with, and I can actually get value out of those interactions rather than it just being a long scrolling of useless information, a black hole of distractions, essentially. If you don't do this step, you don't take the time to sort your newsfeed, just don't touch the newsfeed ever at all. And then once you've either followed or unfollowed someone, just make sure that you click the blue done button at the top right-hand corner so it saves your options or saves your choices.
Zach, can you also show them how to do this right from the news feed? For example, if I see a post that I know is not something that I want to see in my news feed, I just click those 3 buttons, those 3 dots, and then I unfollow that post, that person.
You can. So say, for example, here, if you click the 3 dots on any one of these 3 or on any post that you see on your news feed, you can click the unfollow button and you'll stay connected to that person. So they'll remain a connection and you'll be able to send them a direct message and view their full profile and contact info and all that fun stuff at all times. And it doesn't send them a notification that you've unfollowed them, just so you know. So you can do this post by post if you wish, but it's just going to make using your newsfeed a long drawn out process in the long run. In my opinion, it's better to just get them all out of the way by sorting it through the step I showed you. Okay, last thing that everybody always wants to know about, who feels like they get too many email notifications from LinkedIn? Anybody? Anybody at all? Okay, good, good. I often hear people complaining about getting way too many email notifications from LinkedIn, so I just want to make sure everybody knows how to turn those notifications off if that's an issue for them.
Zechariah, it comes and goes. It almost seems like somebody's doing some kind of like SEO data mining for certain fields from time to time. And then like I'll get blitzed and I'll get like 150 or 200 plus emails in like a 5-day period. And then it'll go away like once I clean it up, say, hey, yeah, stop. Is that something through the technique that you're mentioning that we can prevent or alienate?
Yes, you can. So if you go to settings once again, so go back to the Me button, top right-hand corner, and then you click on settings. And then you go to communications on the left-hand side. It says how you get notifications. So then you have the option of on LinkedIn, what type of notifications do you want to show up as that little red tag at the top? What kind of emails do you want them to email about? And what kind of push notifications to your mobile device do you want to receive? The email one is the big one for me. I usually go in here and it's the big one for most people I find. And if you find you're getting too many, the only one here that you really, really need to have on is your messages. So your conversations one. The rest of them could be turned off unless you're actively using LinkedIn to search for a job, in which case you definitely want to leave the job ones on as well. You can turn off the network, the news, the profile endorsements, safety and reporting. And the one here is the, where did I see it? Messages, posts, comments, updates on your report, endorsements. Yes, your network one is group events, anniversaries, as well as invites, invites being invites to connect.
Good stuff.
Okay, so it's 12:48 p.m. We're done 12 minutes early. Once again, I want to thank you all for your time and thank you to the Canada Work Council for having me as the speaker today. Of course, I'm here for any questions or one-on-one assistance. If there's any steps that you missed, you need some further guidance, we've got a few minutes, so let it rip, guys.
What are some observations and trends that you noticed otherwise not mentioned for the attendees, and like what our profiles look like that you would give recommendations towards?
For your guys' profiles specifically?
Yeah, for what you've seen, like, is there any like common trends that you'd say, hey guys, or gals, I'd take a look at these things and I would avoid doing them, or I'd consider shortening or lengthening, or I don't know.
Okay, good question. So let me go back to your guys' profile here. Am I still sharing my screen or did that
Yes.
stop? Okay. So for example, we'll use Glenn. Let's see here on Glenn's profile.
You're no longer sharing. Also,
Because you may have updated your URL, it may have made a difference. I just didn't want to share the encumbersome me looking around to make sure I get back to your profile here, but I've got it up now. Okay.
Are there any other questions that Zach can answer for you guys? Does anybody else have something that you really want to get done on your LinkedIn and you don't know how, or wondering anything at all about LinkedIn, how it works, what benefits there are to using it, anything at all?
I did notice that Glenn is using LinkedIn Premium, which is good. Depending on what you're using LinkedIn for. So Glenn, your primary use for LinkedIn, are you currently job searching or?
No, I got premium for free through, I'm a US Army veteran, and there's a program through the VA where they give it to veterans for free.
Okay.
So I figured since I don't pay for it, why not?
Okay, yeah, why not? I don't generally recommend LinkedIn Premium unless you're using it for job searching. If you're using it for job searching, it can be a very valuable tool because it allows you to send direct messages to people that you're not connected with, which particularly when you're applying on a job and you want to follow up on that application, it can be very valuable for that. They also have a pretty highly recommended learning portal in there as well.
That was a big help. Like, we brought some new technology on through Microsoft and nobody knew how to use it. And being the IT guy on top of being the ops and supply chain guy, I had to go learn it quick. So that did help.
Okay, cool.
Those are a few interesting hats.
Michael, did you have a question?
This time.
Matt, go ahead.
Matt?
Zachariah, I do have a question on the front page when you add a educational institutions at the top, it appears it only takes the highest education. Can you have multiple profiles up there as far as in the intro?
Good question. No, you can't have multiple at the top of the profile.
Okay, so in other words, if you have a bachelor's degree and then a master's degree or whatever, you can't list both schools.
It should list whichever one you have listed at the top of your education section at the top of your profile.
So mine treats that differently. Like on the edit, like if you're on your home screen, you're looking at your picture, if you click the pencil up top, it will ask you what your education is. And I entered my undergraduate there because it's a bigger name program, University of Florida.
That's
Versus
exactly what
like-
I'm getting at.
Versus
Yes.
what I did my master's degree at Liberty University, which isn't as well known. So I put UF at the top.
Got it. You answered my question perfectly right there, Glenn.
Awesome.
And I do want to reiterate for everyone, just because I want to make sure changes got saved and whatnot. Once again, guys, contact info section definitely being very important if you're going to actively use LinkedIn for business development or anything along those lines. Making sure that your contact information is up to date and making sure that it's at the top of your about section as well. Now, like I said, you don't necessarily have to include your email address at the top of your about section, but especially making sure that your website address is in there up to date, that type of thing, so that people can always at least find a way to find your contact information. And let's see here. Maybe since we have so many gentlemen in the room, there's probably one last thing I should mention. I usually get into this a little bit more in the extensive training, but since it's honoring International Women's Day, this is probably a good thing to mention. One mistake I see very commonly made on LinkedIn, unfortunately, is people treating it as a dating platform. It's not a dating platform. Let's be very clear about that. It's a professionals networking tool. To put it as simply as possible, the value of networking and value of LinkedIn is being able to establish a network of professionals that you'll be able to rely on for business services and business needs or for career development. Not a dating platform. There's more than enough dating apps in the world. Go use those if you're looking to find love. Keep it off of LinkedIn, and it is actually against LinkedIn's terms of service to essentially be prospecting people on LinkedIn for personal relationship purposes. And you can have your entire LinkedIn profile permanently disabled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If somebody reports you for sending inappropriate messages, you can be permanently, not disabled is the word I'm looking for, but banned essentially.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Highly unrecommended.
Any other questions for how to use LinkedIn specific to your role or organization? or any features on LinkedIn? Anything else that you'd like to cover? Okay,
Appreciate your time.
all right. So
Thank you all so much. I'll leave it to Kate.
in closing, I'd like to thank you again for making Work Canada #1. And I hope I'll see you at our next event, which is Tuesday, April the 6th at noon Eastern Time. Please bookmark and keep an eye on werc.org. That's WERC.org. And go to the events page to check out upcoming events and register there. Again, for the non-members in the room, please do reach out to me and I'll give you a $25 discount towards your membership. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn or you can reach out to me on werc.org as well. So I'll be watching for you there. And that's all. Have a fabulous day. Thank you so much, Zachariah, for joining us today. That was a really good session. I hope everybody got good value out of that today. And thanks for everyone. You did a good job.
Thank you
Thank
both.
you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.